Welcome back to my channel and page. Today, we take a deep dive into the incredible, fiery, and complex journey of one of soap opera's most unforgettable women, Sally Spectra. She is bold, she is ambitious, she is reckless, and yet she is also deeply human. Sally's story is not only about fashion, love, and rivalry. It is about survival, resilience, second chances, and how a woman learns to rise from her mistakes and carve out her own destiny. Before Sally shook things up in Genoa City on The Young and the Restless, she had already made a stormy entrance in Los Angeles on The Bold and the Beautiful. And today, we're going to trace her full arc, from the ashes of Spectra Fashions, to the corporate halls of Newman Media, to the very edge of heartbreak and rebirth. Sally's bold beginning in Los Angeles. Sally Spectra entered The Bold and the Beautiful in January 2017, carrying a promise to her legendary aunt, the original Sally Spectra, to revive the family fashion house. She wasn't just another designer with big dreams. She was determined to rebuild an empire. But in the ruthless world of Los Angeles fashion, the battlefield is always crowded. At Forrester Creations, power, legacy, and pride were already well established. For Sally to break through, she had to risk everything. She wasn't alone. By her side were Saul Feinberg, her loyal right hand, and her young sister Coco. Together, they tried to resurrect Spectra Fashions. But ambition sometimes drives people to cross dangerous lines. The infamous camera necklace incident became one of Sally's darkest mistakes. She allowed Coco to unknowingly spy on Forrester Creations' designs, feeding stolen secrets back to Spectra. For Sally, it was desperation, a shortcut to success. But shortcuts always leave scars. The betrayal left her reputation tainted, and it gave her powerful enemies. Steffi Forrester's fury, Bill Spencer's ruthless smirk, Forrester's disgust. Sally's dreams seemed doomed. And then came Thomas Forrester. Thomas didn't just see Sally as a schemer. He saw her potential. He defended her, invested in her, and gave her a chance to rebuild with integrity. With his support, Sally launched the Monaco swimwear line, not just as fashion, but as a statement. Spectra belongs on this stage. But the fashion world is never stable. Allies become rivals overnight. Success turns into temptation. And for Sally, Los Angeles became both her launching pad and her breaking point. When the storms in LA grew too fierce, Sally realized she needed a new horizon. And that horizon was Genoa City. A new chapter in Genoa City. On The Young and the Restless, Sally redefined herself. No longer just the fiery fashion designer, she transformed into a communications strategist, a PR genius, and a master of branding. She found herself torn between two Newman brothers, Adam, the dark, mysterious outsider, and Nick, the golden boy who wanted stability. Two men, two very different paths. But romance was only half the story. Sally proved she was more than just a pretty face. She became a brand architect. She knew how to shape narratives, position companies, and pull levers of influence between Newman Media, Chancellor Winters, and the entire business world of Genoa City. For the first time, Sally wasn't living in her aunt's shadow. She was building her own legacy. A possible return to Los Angeles. But here's where the story gets really fascinating. Imagine a crossover. Imagine Sally stepping back into Los Angeles, older, wiser, tougher. What if Forrester Creations, under pressure from global competition, needed fresh energy? What if they reached out to Sally for a collaboration, a Spectra 3.0 capsule line? Or what if Sally decided not to return as an employee at all, but as an entrepreneur? Reopening the old Spectra building not just as a fashion house, but as a creative hub blending fashion, media, branding, and digital experiences. Something Forrester would never dare to do. Of course, this wouldn't come without drama. Steffi would see Sally as a threat. Paris would dissect her every move through a PR lens. Hope would feel both threatened and inspired. And Thomas? He would once again stand at a crossroads. Could he truly trust Sally this time, or would old wounds reopen? And looming in the shadows would be Bill Spencer, watching, calculating, waiting for his moment to pounce. Genoa City without Sally. If Sally did leave Genoa City, how would the people there react? For Adam, it would be a quiet devastation. He knows Sally's strength comes from fighting through darkness. Losing her would mean losing the only person who truly understood him. Nick might act calm, but inside, he would question whether he had underestimated Sally's drive. And the companies? Newman Media and Chancellor Winters would quickly realize the hole she left behind. Because great brand storytellers aren't easy to replace. Sally understood product, market, and, most importantly, people. Her absence would be felt like a missing heartbeat. The complicated web of love and betrayal. But Sally's story in Genoa City hasn't been just business. It's been deeply personal, full of heartbreak and temptation. Her relationship with Adam cracked under the weight of secrets. Trust eroded, not in a loud explosion, but in small fractures, each lie, each half-truth, each silent night where Sally had to convince herself everything would be fine. Nick couldn't give her the passion she craved. Adam couldn't give her the honesty she needed. And then came Billy Abbott, wounded, searching, dangerous. Billy and Sally found themselves leaning on each other. At first, it was just friendship. Late-night conversations. Shared stories of betrayal. Small comforts in lonely apartments. But boundaries are fragile. And soon, emotions blurred the line between therapy and temptation. They kissed. They pulled back. They tried to stay just friends. But in soap operas, sparks don't disappear. They burn silently until the right storm reignites them. Paris, ambition, and collapse. In 2025, Sally and Billy even dreamed of something bigger, Abbott Communications, a bold media company blending branding, storytelling, and data. Paris was supposed to be their launchpad, the city of lights, fashion, and reinvention. But Paris also revealed traps. Behind a glamorous investor stood Kane Ashby, with his own tangled motives. Billy, driven by obsession, believed he could outmaneuver Kane. But in trying to prove himself, he fell deeper into the web of control. Sally saw it clearly. This wasn't partnership anymore. It was a sinking ship. And so, Sally did something powerful. She walked away. Not in rage. Not in tears. But with quiet strength. Because sometimes the bravest thing you can do is not play someone else's game. Sally's growth and transformation. This is where Sally's story becomes inspiring. The girl who once relied on stolen designs. The woman who once leaned on Thomas's love for survival. The dreamer who once allowed Bill Spencer to bulldoze her future. That Sally no longer exists. Today's Sally is a strategist, a creator, a builder. She knows boundaries. She knows her worth. She knows that walking away is not weakness, but wisdom. She doesn't need to prove herself through a man, a company, or a last name. She creates her own legacy. So what's next for Sally Spectra? Will she return to Los Angeles and clash with Steffi Forrester once again? Will she revive Spectra Fashions as something brand new? Will she rebuild her life in Genoa City with or without Adam? Or will she step into a new world entirely, creating a cross-universe empire that connects fashion, media, and storytelling in ways neither Forrester nor Newman ever imagined? One thing is certain, Sally will always rise. She is too bold to fade, too ambitious to stop, and too passionate to surrender. Sally Spectra's journey is far from over. She began as a firebrand chasing shortcuts, but she has become a woman who chooses the long road, discipline, boundaries, and true power. Love may or may not stay. Careers may rise and fall. But Sally's growth is undeniable. And in the end, that's why fans love her. Because she isn't perfect. She's real. She makes mistakes, she falls, but she always stands back up, stronger than before. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, news, and character deep dives. Sally Spectra's story is one we'll continue to follow, because in the soap world, fire never truly burns out.